A breakup can feel like losing a person, a routine, and a future you imagined, all at once. One day, they are part of your everyday life. You talk to them, think about them, and imagine what comes next. Then suddenly, they're gone. And you're left asking yourself, what am I supposed to do now? If you are going through a breakup, here are 7 steps that can help you heal and move forward. 1. Accept that it's over. The first step is often the hardest. After a breakup, your mind may keep looking for hope. Maybe they'll text. Maybe they'll realize they made a mistake. Maybe this isn't really the end. And while hope can feel comforting, it can also keep you emotionally attached. Healing usually begins when you stop fighting reality. Accepting the breakup doesn't mean you suddenly stop loving them. It doesn't mean what you had wasn't important. It simply means accepting that right now the relationship is over. And instead of spending every day asking, how can I get them back? Try asking, how can I take care of myself now? That small shift can change everything. 2. Stop feeding the addiction. This might sound dramatic, but after a breakup, many people develop a habit of constantly checking their ex. You check their Instagram, you look at their stories, you wonder who they're with, you notice when they were last online. And every time you see something about them, the emotional wound can open again. Maybe you see a photo and feel happy for a second, then sad, then jealous, then you start overthinking. So if you truly want to heal, you have to stop constantly feeding the attachment. That may mean muting them, unfollowing them, or taking a complete break from seeing their life online. This isn't about being immature or pretending they never existed. It's about giving your mind space to stop expecting them to appear in your life every day. You can't heal from something while constantly reopening the wound. 3. Let yourself be sad. Many people try to escape the pain immediately. They rush into another relationship. They stay busy every second. They pretend they're fine. But emotions that are constantly pushed away don't always disappear. Sometimes they simply come back later. So allow yourself to grieve. Cry if you need to. Miss them. Feel angry. Feel disappointed. A breakup is a loss, and loss takes time to process. But there's an important difference between feeling your emotions and living inside them forever. Give yourself permission to feel the pain. Just don't let that pain become your entire identity. You had a life before this relationship, and slowly you can build a life after it too. 4. Stop romanticizing the relationship. After a breakup, the brain has a strange habit. It starts replaying the best moments, the vacations, the late-night conversations, the first time you held hands, the moments that made you feel loved. And suddenly, the relationship can start looking perfect. But ask yourself, was it really perfect? Or are you only remembering the good parts? Sometimes we don't miss the relationship as much as we miss how we felt during certain moments. We miss being wanted, having someone to talk to, feeling special, having a future to imagine. So when you start thinking, I'll never find someone like them again, remind yourself of the complete picture, not just the highlights. The problems mattered too. The reasons the relationship ended mattered too. Healing becomes easier when you stop comparing reality with an edited version of the past. 5. Rebuild your life without them. Relationships can quietly become part of our identity. Maybe you had routines together. Maybe you talked every night. Maybe your weekends were planned around them. And after the breakup, you're not just missing a person, you're missing the space they occupied in your life. That's why it's important to start building new routines. Try something you stopped doing. Spend more time with friends or family. Work toward a goal. Exercise. Learn something new. Not because you need to become a completely different person overnight, but because you need to remind yourself that your life is still moving. One of the most powerful moments after a breakup is realizing I can still enjoy my life without them. That doesn't mean you never cared. It means you're learning to exist outside the relationship again. 6. Don't rush to replace them. Loneliness after a breakup can be dangerous. It can make you believe that you need another person immediately, so you start looking for someone new, not because you're ready, but because you don't want to feel alone. But a new relationship isn't always a solution to an old wound. Sometimes you need time to understand what happened. What did the relationship teach you? What do you want in your next relationship? What are the things you will no longer accept? And maybe most importantly, what do you need to work on within yourself? Taking time to heal doesn't mean closing your heart forever. It means making sure your next relationship isn't simply an attempt to escape your previous one. 7. Understand that healing isn't linear. This is something many people don't expect. You might have a great week, you feel better, you stop thinking about them as much. And then, suddenly, you hear a song, you see a place that reminds you of them, or you randomly remember something at 2 a.m., and suddenly you miss them again. That doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you're back at the beginning. Healing isn't a straight line. Some days will be easier. Some days will hurt. But over time, if you continue moving forward, the pain usually becomes less intense. One day, you may remember them without feeling your entire world fall apart. And that's when you realize something important. Moving on doesn't always mean forgetting. Sometimes it simply means accepting that the memory can exist without controlling your life. After a breakup, you may feel like you've lost something you can never replace, and maybe for a while that's exactly how it feels. But your life didn't end when the relationship ended. There are still experiences you haven't had, people you haven't met, places you haven't seen, and versions of yourself you haven't discovered yet. So don't pressure yourself to heal overnight. Take it one day at a time. Stop reopening the wound. Let yourself grieve. Remember the whole reality, not just the good memories, and slowly begin building a life that doesn't depend on someone else's presence. Because sometimes the end of a relationship isn't the end of your story. Sometimes it's the moment you finally begin writing the next chapter. If this video helped you, make sure to like and subscribe for more.